Welcome everybody to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable. This is a weekly public roundtable, free for all entrepreneurs all over the world, and we have been doing this for a long time as part of the 1 million by 1 million program. We aim to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs by 2020. This is our 109th roundtable, so you can imagine that we've been doing this for a very long time and have lots of experience in working with entrepreneurs. This is the last roundtable for this year, and you will have the recording available in case you want to replay and listen to it, listen to what was discussed, the subtleties of what was discussed. The discussions tend to often be quite complex and dense, so you may want to play back or share with friends or colleagues. Twitter, if you guys are live tweeting, which Maureen will be live tweeting from our account at 1Mby1M, you please use the hashtag 1M1M. And my Twitter account is a very active account, so if you want to follow 1 million by 1 million activities, you can follow at Sramana. Okay, we start with Anand Agarwal, and this is a slightly special situation because Anand is actually a 1 million by 1 million premium entrepreneur, and he has a special announcement to share with us today. So Anand will tell us about his business, and we'll do a little catch up. And we worked together at a private roundtable last week, and today he's going to be here sharing some news with the audience. Go ahead, Anand.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anand Agarwal, and I'm CEO of Principal Software Private Limited. And Bootstrap today is the name of the product, which we launched last year. And it's been a year now since we launched it. Shamana, can you go to the next slide?
Yep.
Next slide.
Want to move further?
Yeah. So basically, Bootstrap today is an ALM application lifecycle management application on a SaaS model, and our target audience is all the IT companies. It can be product companies, services companies, or any company who are outsourcing their IT work. Shamana, you can move. We don't want to talk about pain points. So our USP basically is like every company has some kind of tools, like they have bug-based, they have subversion. They achieve a level of productivity by using these kind of tools. We our product will have basically integration as well as intelligence on top of all the data which has been generated in the project, and the whole
Anand, can you offer a use case? I think it would be easier for people to understand what you're doing if you offer a use case to explain.
All right. So suppose you have a new developer joining your team, and you want to assign some ticket to this guy, and probably this new guy will look through your system, ticketing system, and try to identify a similar kind of ticket in the system. And probably after identifying the ticket, he'll go identify the author. He'll go to that author, try to identify those kind of which are the files which have been changed, modified to fix that ticket. This can take long process. In Bootstrap today, what we do is like we, as soon as you assign some ticket to some developer, you will have some similar tickets attached with that particular ticket. You can go through that ticket, and you can see what kind of files are attached to those tickets. So you will get a hint where developer will get a hint where he should be looking for fixing those bugs. So once he gets a hint, he will go and fix that bug and check in those files. Since this guy is a new developer, ideally his files should be reviewed, but you don't have, every time you don't review, you don't have, as a startup company, a small company, you will not have time to review all the files. But in the system, if system could automatically trigger, identify this guy as a new team member, and if it triggers a review ticket, and it assigns it to somebody who's most familiar with those files. So you will have an action item in your bucket that you need to review these set of files. So this will reduce basically probability of getting more bugs into the system.
So Anand, my first feedback to you is your presentation needs a lot of work. It's very difficult to understand what is it that you're doing for regular people. And you need to create a customer presentation that is much, much clearer. This is not a good presentation.
Okay.
So if you try to go explain to customers what is it that you're doing, this is impossible to understand from.
Yeah. So what we have done recently, we are trying to create some examples, which I talked about. Similarly, we are creating more examples, and we are using those kind of examples to make it clear.
Yeah, you've got to develop use cases. One of the best ways to explain a new concept or any concept, especially a complex concept, is to do it with use cases. If you go to the curriculum, there are templates for customer pitches.
Okay.
You should model your customer pitch to those using those templates and come up with a much crisper customer presentation. And you can even, once you have a good customer pitch, you can put a video together very simply. There are tools like Camtasia online where you can just record your presentation explaining what you're trying to do, but you really need to make this much clearer. As it stands, I think you have a huge gap here. You can't sell anything until prospects can understand what the hell you're doing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All right, let's actually go to your announcement. I know you're. So by the way, the company already has about customers that are using the product, and then 15 of them are paying customers, right, Anand?
Yeah, right.
And how much are the paying customers paying?
They fall in range between $1,000 and $2,000.
And this is 1,000 rupees
per month.
1,000 rupees.
1,000 rupees per month. Yeah.
1,000 rupees per month. Okay.
So Shramana, basically a few weeks back, we were able to build a partnership with AppDirect. AppDirect is a Canada-based company, and they have built a business app store for Bell Labs. So they have kind of partnership with Bell Labs, and so this is a good opportunity for us to reach out to businesses which are associated with Bell Labs through their channel network.
And how many of those businesses are there?
So, there are like 500,000 businesses all across Canada.
But does AppDirect have access to the 500,000 businesses?
No, AppDirect will have created this store. Bell Labs will be promoting to its partners and distributors.
Bell Labs will be promoting the store to its partners and distributors in Canada.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a press release or something on this?
Yeah, I did send it to Maureen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maureen, why don't you forward it to me? I'll take a look at it, and maybe we'll include some of that information in the recap column. Okay. Well, this is good. I think we've had a long discussion already last week, so I think the main thing we need to do with your business is, one, you have to really clean up the explanation of how you, what you do and what is it that customers are buying this product for, or what problem is it solving much more clearly, because it's a crowded space from, all the way from version control, project management. There are all sorts of adjacencies which are confusing for customers to understand where exactly do you fit in that. So a very crisp competitive positioning is something you need to still put together, which I have not seen yet.
Okay.
So and if you have interest in raising money, which you said you did at some point, not immediately, but you're going to have to put all those pieces together. And even for customers, you're going to need to put these pieces together. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to sell at at volume, basically.
Right, I understand.
So SEO is going to generate traffic, but people will come to your site and they won't understand what you're doing. So all the SEO investment you make is going to go to waste.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
The next presenter is Mark Heifetz.
Yeah.
From InfoDrive, Israel. Mark?
Yeah.
This is your
Yes.
turn to present.
Thanks. I'm here. I have to say that I have not just understood the frame of the presentation and pitch, so the number of slides I have been told to prepare, I meant only for inquiry, not for presentation. So I just ask you to use this slide and the next slide, and together the next slide I will teach all the story.
Okay.
So as I said, our company is startup developing mobile solutions allowing verbal access to audible contents and services. And in this concern, we can say that the mobile devices like smartphones and tablets have become an ultimate platform for mobile communication and consummation of contents and services on the move. On the other hand, are these contents ready to be conveniently used in moving environment? Let's take drivers, for example. We need the need of using smartphone and other mobile devices in the car. It has created a lot of safety problems around the globe. On the other hand, just a week ago, we saw that the U.S. Transportation Safety Board called for nationwide ban of the use of cell phones and text messaging devices while driving. So how can drivers behind the wheel can manage rapidly growing mobile content and range of mobile web services safely and efficiently? Our company answer is just using your voice. So InfoDrive has created Symphony. It's a personal vocal content management system. Actually. Slide number 2. Yeah, created Symphony, which is a personal vocal content management system, and using Symphony, the driver can easily control his smartphone and access various mobile contents and services using just natural voice.
And are we talking about using voice in the car to operate the smartphone?
Yeah, exactly. But not just operating smartphone. We are talking about much more. We are talking about accessing web contents in using by voice, using while driving. So it's not just sitting.
How does this compare with existing solutions like Siri, for instance, is a very big deal for Apple right now. Then, my car has a voice-activated input device where you basically tell the, navigation. I mean, I would say it's not great, but it's not too bad either. Phone navigation, CD can be operated by voice activation already.
Yeah, I can say you that the idea behind this kind of system, not just operating some service inside of the car, which is called telematics. It's much more. It's about managing the on web contents and web services and this is especially should be done for drivers. In opposite to Siri or similar systems, which will come soon, I think, our system is not an personal assistant. It's a target system for driving environment. So it's not easy for driver to ask whatever question and to forever whatever answer. We're talking about special contents prepared for driving environment. And, for example, if you compare the usual internet, which is visual, and vocal internet, which is let's say serial, they are completely different because when you look at screen, you see many more things altogether. And if you want to access, let's say, audible contents, they will do and come in series. So that's the difference, and for that we should prepare a special audible content. And on the HEF driver, it should be an application on smartphone which is able to by voice be managed by driver during driving. So we have a cloud server which.
Talk about the technology. How do you expect this to be rolled out? Is it an app on a smartphone? How do you expect this product to get to the hands of the users?
Yeah, this is system is existing. It's now in. It's possible to download it to iPhone. It's an iPhone application called Symphony, and but this application is only part of the system. The second part is cloud server, which prepares different contents in audible form, which could be browsable by voice. That still exists. We have started the system, launched it a few months ago in, let's say, in beta mode, and everybody can try it, downloading it from App Store now. And
so let me use an example, and you tell me if I'm understanding this right. Let's say I'm driving and I want to use Yelp. I could, your application could get me to a voice-enabled Yelp.
Not yet, but we have just started the.
That's the concept, right?
This is the concept, yeah, but we have just started to create this audible web space. It's not ready, and it's even not ready for applications like Apple Siri, because not all the contents are ready to be drawn and received by just asking. They have to be prepared in audible form, and they have to be prepared to be browsable, because not if you see for example on Siri, which asks for bringing what's the weather, you see the part, large part of the answer you see on the screen. You see some graphics, you see some maybe pictures. This is not the case for driver. Drivers should not see anything on the screen, and in that case, this content should be prepared special form. That's the difference. And by the way, from a business point of view, it's also not the same, because not all the audible contents are ready to be free.
How is this possible to do in a scalable way? Is there technology to do text to speech, or is it are we talking about a complete manual process?
No. This is in text to speech and speech synthesizing. It's only part of the system, and it's not our part. We bring it like third-party modules. Our IP and our proposal is on web, web to prepare audio contents and to prepare a voice interface that permit browsing these contents by voice.
So you are basically, roughly speaking, you're creating a search engine of sort that can be voice activated, voice enabled. Then you're taking the voice query, turning into text, doing the search query using a text to voice synthesizer, and then spitting back the result in voice again.
Yeah, but once more, the speech synthesizing and speech recognition is a part of voice user interface, which is in application a smartphone. The rest of the task, the preparation of the contents and the preparation of a format which can be exchangeable with actually the interface is on cloud server.
Okay. All right. So keep going.
Okay, so actually, I said we have launched it a few months ago, and have about few thousand users in United States, United Kingdom. The system works in English, and we stopped just at we want to launch it and begin marketing, because it's now goes without marketing and only soft mode.
But what are you marketing? Your system, you said, is not ready yet. What are you marketing?
No, system is ready because number of services working, number of functions working. So it's we have users which use that. That's a part of the service. So we propose a number of functions. So it's system. It's a initial offering, but
what segment? You have so many different segments on the screen. What segment are you? What you've launched? What segment is that for?
Actually, the segment we have started from end users, from consumer segment. So actually, from each driver which owns smartphone and has internet connectivity. That's the first user.
And what is the feedback from the several thousand users who are using the system in a consumer mode right now?
Yeah, we did a survey. We see that the people use it, and on average we have a good feedbacks. But our problem, we didn't launch marketing and PR, so we have occasional users, and not all the users use it for the driving, which was the actually target niche. So that's the point. And what
do they use it for?
Yeah, they use it during drive. They use it also in home environment, different places, but maybe half of the users use it during driving.
Okay. And so, just a second, somebody who is dialing in from Skype continues to type on your keyboard. If you could please stop doing that, because you're disturbing the call with the sound of the keyboard, that would be great. Thank you. So Mark, are these, it doesn't matter whether they're using in the home environment or the car environment, what feedback are you getting from the users? Do they like the application? Are they able to do what they're trying to do given given what you're providing?
Yes, sure.
And are they willing to pay for it?
We try to sometimes to open it for free. We have started it for free, and we are charging only for different additional packages, because we propose voice SMS and voice emailing. So some people pay, but when we try to do this application for $1 downloading, we saw that the number of people coming has been decreased. So we're trying to find the exact pricing for this service, and also let's say trying.
So you're trying to do a premium model, and there are, premium models. You have to figure out what to give for free and what to charge for, and those are tricky questions.
Exactly.
There are questions that need to be sorted out very, carefully.
Yeah, this is our model. This is premium model, and we have actually potential number of revenue streams. We have not started yet, but we have a number of U.S. partners, and we are intending to go with them on audio advertising, targeting advertising platform, which we have, and also we will charge for service packages, like I said, and
I would not going to advise you to go with an advertising business model. The whole mobile advertising inventory is so large right now and so dramatically unmonetized.
Mm-hmm.
I
saw your reply in this regard. So in this case, we have to review, revise maybe our business model. So to go premium model and based only on service packages, maybe it will be not enough for us. So it's
not enough for you, then this business is not going to be viable at all, because if you're banking on advertising revenues on mobile are operating very poorly right now.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
Monetization of mobile ad inventory is very bad.
Yeah, I understand. But for example, premium subscription, I saw the statistic is also very, let's say, very small.
It's 1 to 2%. Average free versus premium. Free users converting into paying users is 1 to 2%.
Yeah, I know it. So this is a discussion. What can we do with our business model? This is our challenge.
You could take the business and turn it into a B2B business. That is one option. And find a use case, a killer app where this is important, this kind of interaction is important. So the one homework I would give you is to go find B2B use cases which are really killer apps solving a problem, not some wishy-washy thing that is a nice to have, but real killer apps using that leverages your technology, but is a B2B app that people are willing to pay for. That would be a possibility. The other questions are, I think, are difficult to answer until we get to which use case and which segment are we going to go for. All that the strategic partnership, who is a good strategic partner, depends on which segment do we decide to go after.
Yeah, I understand. For presently, our strategic partners is according to our targeted consumer market. If we are going to B2B, we have to identify another partners.
Yeah. So do your numbers and see what kind of comparables are out there and what you might be able to charge for it. And the assumptions have to be that if you're going to do a freemium business, only 1 to 2% is going to convert. You cannot expect more than that to convert.
Yeah, I know. Because of that, we heavily relied on advertising revenue streams.
Not rely on advertising. Mobile advertising is really monetizing very poorly.
I understand. So
okay, why don't you explore some killer apps in terms of use cases that may be, and it could be consumer apps also, but you need to find killer apps that use your technology but are apps that people are willing to pay for. This kind of free-flowing, just voice activation, this is not going to be enough.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Eric, you're next. Cape Town, South Africa.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Lovely. So I'm Eric. I'm from Cape Town in South Africa. It's beautiful weather at the moment, very nice and hot. And 8 years ago, I decided to leave investment banking and started my first digital company. And we raised venture capital for it. We sold it off. And I was involved in online marketing agencies for a long time. We set up Africa's biggest search engine company, South Africa's biggest affiliate network. And then we started moving into crowdsourcing 3 years ago. And we set up a threadless clone called springleaf.com. We've got a community of 200,000 people, and we've got 15,000 designers. And we looked at Springleaf. We looked at how the crowd was getting involved. And if you can go to the next slide, please. We looked at Starbucks as well. And what they're doing is, in our minds, incredible. They're really getting their community to interact by letting the community suggest ideas of house standardization. And then if thousands of people come up with ideas, they're letting the community vote on all the ideas. So they're basically filtering the ideas. And Starbucks looks at the best ideas, make changes in their organization based on what the community has suggested. So if you turn to the next slide, we decided to build an iframe along those two concepts. It would be a Facebook application that allowed organizations to be able to get ideas from their fans on Facebook in order to engage with their fans and also to get business value. And the concept is very simple. You basically create a brief. It could be come up with ideas to improve our organization. It could be come up with suggestions for our social responsibility project. Or it could be a project-based. It could be, we've got a particular idea in our organization. Can you give us improvements on how we can do it better? And the crowd, the Facebook fans suggest ideas. People vote the ideas up and down on another tab on the application. When the organization decides if they like one of the ideas, they then create what on that fourth page, on the fourth part of it on the right, they implement the idea and they link it to whoever inspired them. So it might be one inspiration, it might be 5 different inspired ideas. And the person that submitted the idea—
I have a question here. Your assumption is that you are working with brands that have large Facebook following, right?
Not necessarily, because it depends on what type of answers the organization wants. If you take, for example, a company like Greenpeace, the charity, in South Africa, they've got 14,000 fans. But those are very motivated activist-type fans who can come up with a lot of ideas for Greenpeace. If you're looking at a restaurant at the corner of the street, they might have 200 customers, but those customers might come up with 2 or 3 or 4 really good ideas every month. And it might not be a way of generating huge amounts of business value for the organization, but it's a way of engaging with their current users, getting business value.
But my question, however, comes from a segmentation point of view. Where is the business for you?
So let's go to the next slide, and I'll show you that then. So we charge $700 for the large organizations to use our software, and it's a recurring fee, $700 per month. And that's for very large companies that have large fan bases. For corner restaurants, the SMBs, for charities, and for schools and educational units, we've created a free version where we get obviously access to the consumers and the users, and it's an upsell for us. So on the one hand, we get the users, we also get a potential upsell, but the money at the moment is coming from us directly approaching the big brands. It's myself and one of my sales guys in South Africa going after all the big brands and all the agencies. And from a pipeline point of view, we spent 3.5 months building the software. We've approached 150 brands and about 30 agencies, and we've got 45 brands that have committed to using our software. 2 have already signed the order form and paid us for it. So that's our target market that we're going after. We at the moment are only focusing on large brands and large social media companies in South Africa, and we're doing it by directly approaching them and presenting on a one-by-one case scenario to them. If you turn to the next slide.
Before we go to the next slide, I heard you say that you want to give this for free to the small corner stores and so forth, and because it gives you access to the audience. Explain that a bit how does this work? So if somebody engages with this idea software, you start picking up their coordinates. They come into your system somehow and become accessible as consumers.
Absolutely. So it's built as an iframe. It can be used either as a Facebook app. It can be used as an iframe on an organization's website, or it can be used as an iframe on the Evly platform itself. And for a user to either submit an idea, to vote an idea, or to get involved in one of the other applications we've also built, you have to be either connected via Facebook to Evly, or you directly register with Evly. So everyone who interacts with our applications becomes part of the Evly network, very similar to the way Wildfire are doing it, Buddy Media are doing it, Involver are doing it. We've created a suite of products, and some of them we're selling, some we're giving away for free, but all the users that interact with our products become our users, and they become users of the organization that brought them in.
And when you're letting people use your product for free, are you reserving the right to solicit similar participation from those users on other brands' products?
Absolutely. So when anyone joins our iframe or our application, they become a member of the Evly collaboration network. And at this stage, we're not cross-marketing, but at a later stage, the intention is to create a cross-marketing platform where organizations can market on Evly to find the right type of users to interact with their projects. That's the long-term vision of what we're doing.
And are these the people who are participating, are they incentivized to participate in any way?
Absolutely. It's really up to the organization running the application to decide whether to incentivize. We strongly suggest that the organization should incentivize, and all the people that have committed to using our software at the moment have said that they're going to put monthly prizes and weekly prizes for the best ideas that get entered into the system. It's really important that there are prizes. We do have a gamification strategy as a long-term strategy where Evly itself will be giving points for every single piece of participation that happens, but at this stage it's really up to the organization to give prizes to those people that are getting involved.
Okay.
Right. If you turn, you're on the customer acquisition slide. So the way we're acquiring customers is really myself and my sales guy going and calling up through all traditional methods, all the big brands and all the big agencies. We're setting up meetings with them around South Africa, and we're presenting a presentation to them. And in the last 2 months, we've met, as I said, with about 120 big brands, and we've met with about 40 of the biggest social media and advertising agencies in South Africa. So that's the way that we've created the sales in the pipeline at the moment. In addition to that, we've just started our online marketing. We're doing pay-per-click on Google. We're doing SEO. We're doing all the types of online marketing. We've just appointed a B2B PR firm to start getting attention in South Africa so that when we approach the big brands, they would have already heard about us through the press. Mm-hmm. And obviously, the premium version is that there's a lot of Evly branding on it. And so although we're giving it away for free, it allows a lot of other people to see our brand. And everything about our software is viral. So every time someone puts an idea onto Facebook, it spreads the idea to all their friends, and a lot of other people then get to see both the organization and they get to see Evly itself. So those are the different ways we're doing our acquisition at the moment.
Okay.
And if you turn to this slide, in terms of the customer validation, we launched a first app about 6 weeks ago to understand exactly how iframes work. And 41 of the biggest brands in South Africa started using this application. As I said, we've just finished our ideas iframe, the Starbucks type suggestion box. And the best way of thinking about it is that in the olden days, employees would put suggestions into a box in the company, or a customer market research program would be implemented. Our software really focuses for both of those. If it's a private project, it can be used for employees. And if it's an open project, it can be used for customer engagement. And our pipeline has got 25 major customers who have said they want to start using it in South Africa. And today we actually closed our second deal. So I'll put one deal on the page at the moment. Today we got our order form signed for the second one. And in January, we're expecting to close at least another dozen orders from that side.
Okay.
That's really our business model, and I've only gone into detail about the first application, which is our ideas application. If you look at a company like Wildfire or Involver or Buddy Media, they've got a suite of different iframes. Now, we are busy building a number of different projects as well. We're planning on launching one new project every month. But the difference between us and themselves is that we're thinking of it from a crowdsourcing point of view. So how do you get the crowd involved rather than how do you entertain the crowd, which is the way that they have built their business models on.
Okay. So let's actually go to your questions. I have a few pointers for you, but I'll let you ask your question first.
So the question is that at this stage, we're doing a lot of direct hardcore selling in South Africa, both to the social media companies, the advertising companies, and the big brands. Now, we've emailed a number of companies in America and the UK. I was in South America 2 weeks ago, and I met with a few social media companies. Should we be paying attention to trying to get revenue and traction outside of South Africa, or should we get our traction and revenue in South Africa to a point that we raise a Series A and we use the money to then expand to other countries around the world?
So first and foremost, you need to distinguish between brands and advertising agencies, because the price point where you are, trying to sell that price point to brands directly is not sustainable. It's $700 a month. That's $8,400 a year. This is not a large enough dollar value to do direct selling. So either your pricing needs to change to allow for direct selling. $8,400 a year is just not in the direct selling price point. The advantage of advertising agencies, however, is that you sell the concept to advertising agencies since they work with multiple different brands. If you sell the concept to advertising agencies, you will be selling to multiple of their clients. So that one's okay. So if you sell to if you market and explain to one advertising agency, conceivably you could get 20 clients from that or 50 clients from that, and that's worthwhile. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
In South Africa, I don't know the exact cost structure, but I think perhaps it's okay to do direct selling because your cost structure is lower. But in Europe or in the US, the direct selling costs are significantly higher.
For a product like our product, do you have some sort of estimation of what we should be charging monthly to brands to use it?
That is something you're going to have to poll the brands and also do. I mean, we have a very systematic way of doing pricing. In 1Mby1M, we have a whole module on pricing in the curriculum. I'll talk to you more about what's in the program. But in a nutshell, you're going to have to look at the competitive landscape. You're going to have to look at the customers, what customers are willing to tolerate, and then decide on what you can charge. It's not for me to pull this out of the hat. But I'm just also telling you that if you have a price point which is not consistent with something that you can do with direct selling, and if you require direct selling to sell at that price point, that's going to break your business model.
I agree with you. We didn't know whether the $700 in South Africa was the right price point either. We spoke to a couple of brands to try to market research. We got the indication that at a $700 price, they wouldn't hesitate to do a one-year contract with us. And we thought for the first dozen or 2 dozen clients, it would be a good idea, even if we were underselling the software at a cheaper price than we should, it would allow us to start getting revenue into the company as quickly as possible.
I absolutely have no problems with your testing this with this price point in South Africa and getting customers, because your product will get mature and you will, you'll have some revenues, and you basically get to a level of validation within a market that is manageable without trying to boil the ocean. Because selling to advertising agencies in the US or Europe is not an easy proposition, as you know, right? It takes time, it takes a lot of meetings, and blah, 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 because within the advertising agencies there are multiple decision makers. It's a complex sales cycle. And I think it's better not... Sorry?
Just to give you one extra step is we've created the software. I mentioned this two ways at the moment, which is the freemium and which was the software for the brands where we charge them. We have created a third model which is for agencies, and they actually then can log into our software and change all the code and customize the design. So we're expecting agencies to be able to use our software and then mark it up when they start selling customized versions to their clients. So that is a third part we've done, but I didn't want to speak about it earlier.
So these are things that need to be worked out. Agencies don't sell software. I've never seen an agency ever selling software. That's not what they do. And they will never succeed with that assumption.
What I meant is when they're doing a campaign for a client, they would use our software and they would resell it as a campaign package.
So you have to understand how advertising agencies make money. Advertising agencies typically make money by taking a percentage of the media spend, and they also charge for creative. So you're going to have to dissect the advertising agencies that you're working with and try to figure out exactly how they are going to, how the money flows if you insert yourself in the middle of this channel. Because again, I've had lots of experience working with advertising agencies and the software industry, at the cusp of software industry and advertising industry. Whether it's PPC optimization, whether it's SEO optimization, there's all sorts of products that our industry in California, we've tried to sell these products to advertising agencies, and there are always complexities around the business model and how to engage these agencies on your behalf. So you may actually find yourself in a position where the advertising agency, after investing a lot of energy on selling your value proposition to them, because there's not a business model and alignment, they are not going to push your product.
How do we find that out? Through trial and error?
You've got to talk to them. You've got to understand how they view the product. And in that case, your next option is going to be going directly to brands and working with brands and social media teams inside of the organization and so forth, which means you're now, so there's one interesting option is if you have to sell directly to brands, then you're going to have to close these sales by phone, online marketing and phone, because of the price point that you have so far come up with. At that price point, what I call tele-web sales is acceptable, but direct sales is not.
That's an interesting point. Do you think that, okay, I think just to ask you the question then over there, should we be focusing only on South Africa at the moment where we're getting a good response both from the advertising agencies and the brands? Or should we be thinking about trying to expand our reach a little bit outside at the moment to start testing the waters?
I don't like trying to do multiple geographies at the same time, especially when there is high-touch selling involved. You have to understand, you have to learn first how this product is sold. And you have a bunch of brands and you have a bunch of advertising agencies in South Africa. You have to very carefully understand exactly how to sell this product, to create a repeatable sales process. And then once you understand that, you can go replicate that in other geographies. But you have to first and foremost understand how this product is sold. And this is, by the way, I'm telling you from experience, this is not an easy product to create that repeatable sales process around.
Thank you. I appreciate the advice.
You're welcome. Okay. Next is Dennis, talking about local grading tool. Dennis, if you could come and talk about what you're doing.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks, Ramana.
Morning.
So I think there's a good parallel with what Eric is doing and what we're doing. When I ran the internal data team at Yahoo 5 years ago, which is actually longer, that's when I left Yahoo, we had a number of large advertisers, and we had the internal advertisers too, sales, sports, finance, shopping, personal, small biz. And we wanted to get more local businesses advertising. Back then it was called Overture. We wanted them to do PPC. We wanted them to make websites. We wanted them to optimize landing pages, to get email marketing. And we found it was nearly impossible, as you know, in the local space because of their budgets. They're not sophisticated. They don't have the people. They don't have the time. And we thought, what is a way, what could we do? Could we simplify the interface at Yahoo? Could we try to create quick start packages? Could we hire a team of sales people that could guide folks through the process? Could we lower our prices? And we spent several $1 million of research to try to figure out how. And the net result of all of that was that no matter how you try to simplify the interface, small businesses are just not going to self-serve. We have a lot of intelligent people here on the call. How many people here actually change their own oil? You probably don't. You go to a Jiffy Lube and you pay somebody $20. And it requires humans, but then there's the problem of agency versus software. As an agency, when you put people on it, you can't go down to that $10 a month price point. But software has the benefit of scale, whereas agency doesn't. So you have a best of both worlds approach, just like Eric's saying, if you try to sell direct versus trying to sell through an agency, it's pros and cons. So we launched this company with a unique way to solve that problem. And that is by using big brands to subsidize what we do for little guys. Let me explain. So in the last 4 years on Facebook, ever since they opened the F8 platform, we've built analytics that's enterprise. That's $100,000 plus per year. And we have a number of big brands, as you can see from this first page, that are paying a lot of money to use our software. And with that, we have built what arguably is the most sophisticated Facebook analytics out there. Now, there's some apps that are with that. There's some integrated Facebook advertising. There's call tracking. There's templated campaigns that we have by category. We've got millions of dollars of Facebook ad campaigns that we've run. One of the largest advertisers on Facebook. You'll see that our case studies are quoted in the Wall Street Journal, CNN, CBS Evening News, PBS, NPR, other sources like that. So we have significant traction in the enterprise space. What we want to do is take what we know that works for retail, for example. So we have like California Pizza Kitchen or Lane Bryant or Rosetta Stone, Gordman's, guys who have hundreds if not thousands of locations. And take that product and simplify it down to somebody who only has one location. Somebody who might only have anywhere from $10 a month to several $1,000s a month. And put a game layer on top of it so that if you are a mom, a student, somebody who is not a professional internet marketer, you could use our tools and be able to effectively create a business, your own business, serving clients in your local neighborhood, people that you already know. If you're a soccer mom, you drive around, you talk to that dentist, plumber, guy who runs the pizza shop, whoever that might be who owns that local business. And instead of Farmville, where you're farming virtual strawberries, virtual coins, you can make real money, show real results for local businesses because you can track that. You can track the calls, you can track the traffic, we have an integration with Google Analytics, you could track how they rank in SEO, you could track how many Facebook fans are generating, you can track how many reviews they're getting. So if we move, yep, go ahead.
I'm kind of not understanding what is this, what is the product here, Dennis? So you
that's the next slide.
Started off saying, just a second, started off saying that this is an analytics tool for large enterprises like Rosetta Stone. Now we're talking about Farmville, a gaming, something, the real world gaming.
It's a complex model, so I'm laying some of the strategic background, and now we're about to talk mechanically about what the product is and where the business value is for small biz, and where the game mechanics comes in, which
you are catering
to
both large enterprises and small businesses.
And that's a couple slides forward. I'm going to address that challenge, and then I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
So there is all of your questions we'll address in turn. I want to lay out the strategy. This is a very complex. It's basically two businesses that we're running. So I want to show you where that transition point is and see what you think about it. But I need to lay out some of the key components you'll see real quick.
Okay.
So here on the next slide, the grading tool. If you're a small business, you need to see how you're doing. And this is where our analytics piece comes in, where all we need is one piece of information. Phone number, your website URL, your Facebook page. If you have any one of those, or even your Twitter handle, we can go back and triangulate and grab everything else. And we have this tool, it's working, so it'll come back and say, Shimona, your Italian restaurant, you have 532 reviews, this many on Yelp, Google Places, Merchant Circle, City Search, all the other places, and here's how many fans you have, here's your page rank, here's a number of different stats which may or may not have any sort of meaning to you because you're a business person and you just want to drive more business. So we have the metrics in the first column, and the next column we put in the context to say, what does it mean that I have 500 reviews? Is that good or bad? Well, relative to your competitors, this is where you stand. This is how many pages you have on your site. Relative to your competitors, this is how you should do it. You know, relative to your competitors, this is how you're ranking. Relative, so everything's relative. And then the last column is what the action is that you can take.
And it's that relativity is gauged by the customer or the user inserting the competitors, or you are figuring out who are the competitors by yourself?
So if they're in a local Yellow Pages category where there are thousands of businesses that are the same that differ only by geography, then we can grade that dentist against everyone else in Menlo Park that's a dentist.
Okay.
Or that pizzeria against anyone else in San Jose.
So the sweet spot really is these broad Yellow Page categories, local business categories like dentists and restaurants and spas and whatever, which get lots of reviews and have distinct categories that are easy to benchmark against.
Correct.
Okay.
So major Yellow Pages categories, primarily service-based businesses where they understand the value of the lead and where the lead is of high value. So dentists and doctors, not so much restaurants or nail salons where they don't have the budget, where they don't understand the value of labor as much. It's more difficult to differentiate, right? When you're a dentist or you're a personal injury attorney, you can reuse the same landing pages, reuse the same PPC campaigns with just very minor tweaks.
Okay.
So this framework here we call metrics analysis action. Metrics are what's the stats, analysis is put the context in, and action is here's what you need to do. Hey, you need to respond to this negative review. Hey, you need to create your Facebook profile that's not there. Hey, you need to run a paid search campaign because all these other guys are there and you're not there, right? And so people can understand why those recommendations are there because they get that free diagnostic in our grading tool. And they can share it with other people. If they want to then take action, then they have to pay.
Okay.
So you want to run a paid search campaign? Let's move. I think we're here on this sample report analysis alerts. Actually, let me back up a step. So if you want to, maybe you're not ready to buy. Maybe you just want to learn a little more. You can watch a couple of the videos. You can watch testimonials that we have with the big brand clients or other folks in the same category, other dentists, for example. And we have a lot of these case studies already. Maybe you want to learn a little more, kick the tires. Maybe you would just like to see this report come to you every month. So put in your email address. If you invite 5 friends, we'll give you access to some of the apps that we've built and other premium features. All free, no strings. Right? It's a newsletter. This kind of lead gen is by providing real value as opposed to fill out this form and some salesperson's going to call you. It's all inbound marketing, and we've proven that it works in the enterprise layer. Our company has no salespeople. Everything we have is based on creating value and driving leads that come to us who can, well, they'll soon be able to self-serve in a few weeks once we launch the software, at least in terms of self-serve instead of working with the enterprise. So the beauty is that to be able to unlock some of these products, they can either directly pay or they could tweet or become a fan or use one of our apps that we'll recommend to their other friends as a payment, paying with their reputation. And that's where the gamification layer comes in. Now, from a business model standpoint, there's no way you can build this kind of software without a significant amount of cash. Engineering is not cheap, you know that, and we've bootstrapped our business with enterprise guys, some of whom are spending millions of dollars with us. And we're
spending millions of dollars with you, as in they are millions of dollars level customers?
Millions? Okay, so these are big brand customers like a Rosetta Stone.
Yeah.
Or Lane Bryant, guys who have thousands of locations.
And how much do you make from revenue point of view off a Rosetta Stone?
There's a fee component which is comparable to what the top agencies charge. And there's a software component which is a little bit less than what you might pay for an Omniture. So it's enterprise software, but we know that that same pricing model is not going to work for local. So we've taken the same software that we've been selling for enterprise and stripped out components that don't matter for local businesses. So multiple language supports, multiple agents and users, multiple product lines.
So Dennis, help me understand some business decisions you're making here which confuse me. Is your enterprise business going well?
It's doing quite well, and we could continue to operate selling enterprise software. But
why are you going into local right now?
Because my heart is in creating jobs for entrepreneurs. And so when I saw, Sramana, your 1Mby1M, I thought, this is the kind of thing that I can get behind. I want to solve the unemployment problem in the United States. We give away our software for nonprofits. We donate to schools. We have our people choose charities that they want to spend time on. We have the luxury of being able to charge enough money to some big CPG brands, big retailers, that we have enough money to spend on developing software and give away our software. You know, the incremental cost of giving out software is zero, right? You know, the cost is all in the first copy to nonprofits that they can't pay that much.
Because as you said, there's, you know, all these, if you try to do, let's say you try to do this as this part of the business as a nonprofit, you still have to support. There's a lot of infrastructure, there's a lot of customer service still involved, and so forth. So I'll tell you you've told me your philosophy and where your heart is. I have to say I do not necessarily in 1Mby1M entrepreneurs, I generally do not encourage diluting your focus as a business. I mean, the way to look at it is just by building a successful business, you are creating value and you are generating jobs. And these are sustainable jobs. It is the business that you are currently in, that is not a business that is easily converted into a 1Mby1M kind of business, which is what I'm hearing you say that you want to do, which is by making this a local, very low-level, product that millions of entrepreneurs can potentially, millions of businesses can potentially afford. But as you know, those businesses are extremely expensive to build.
Understood. So let's talk about how this scales. So in a typical agency, the price of labor is quite high because of the knowledge required to service these clients and account management and this sort of thing. Our business is definitely true, if not more expensive on the software side, but we have been using our own gamification model where we recruit people straight out of school, or maybe they respond to an ad that we put on Craigslist just for testing, and they move through a leveling system. We have a 7-level internal analyst system. And you come in, first level is $12 an hour, and here are the different things you need to learn. You earn points. If you are able to meet the requirements, you can move up as quickly as you're able to prove competent. Some people go from level 1 to level 5 in 3 days. Some people never get past level 1 and they're kicked out. And so this model we've taken and trained people who have no experience in internet marketing to be successful in delivering campaigns using our standard operating processes to do any particular thing, to build landing pages in a certain way, to use our tools to optimize a Facebook ad campaign, these kind of templates, if you will. We started testing by providing this to folks who have even less skill in servicing local businesses. And so far, we are finding that this works. I believe that even though this is ostensibly a separate business, separate from the enterprise software, this is scalable to empower entrepreneurs to be micro businesses, micro consultants that are local.
Yeah, no, I'm not not saying that there is no business here. What I'm saying is that it's a very capital-intensive business to build, and you have a nice enterprise business that is already proven, and you've got the hang of it. You can scale that business. You can build that business to conceivably, I don't know your numbers, but if I gauge by the number of major brands that you put on the slide and my knowledge of enterprise deals, this could be a 10, 15, 20, $50 million business within the next few years.
It already is. We're not shooting. We're already there. I want to go further than that.
You're a $50 million business already?
We've had revenue as high as $100,000 a day.
Okay.
This isn't at the point of somebody who has an idea on a napkin.
Yeah, so it's I have no way, I don't know anything about your company.
Yeah,
Unless you give me a metric, it's impossible for me to make decisions. If you are a $50 million company making 25, 30, 40% profit, and you have lots of cash that you want to invest in a local business, that is doable.
I see what the bigger players have done with their nonprofit programs. For example, Wildfire is probably not a great example, but they had a program that they gave away their software for free for nonprofits. We want to be able to provide this for free, but I understand that there's elements of support, that it does cost money if you want to have distribution, higher sales, but we don't want to use any of those intensive cost structures. We want to have software that's so simple that other people who are using the program, who are moving through the leveling system, can help each other. And when they help other folks that are through the program, they earn points and they level up. So that effectively there's no cost to us. And the two or three questions I have are, brand-wise, if we launch the local thing under another Blitz name, so Blitz Local versus Blitz Metrics versus Blitz, we have 100 different Blitz-related domains. We haven't turned public yet. Will that dilute the brand where, if you have people who are driving BMWs at $80,000 and then they launch some tiny little $15,000 BMW with cloth seats, will the people who paid $80,000 feel like their BMW is devalued because other people can buy a BMW at $20,000? So there's a brand issue there.
Yeah, there's definitely a brand issue, and if you give the same exact product for a substantially lower price, you can give a scaled down version of the product, but if you give the same exact product at a significantly lower price, then your enterprise business is going to get killed.
And so then it becomes what features go in which bucket. And is it positioned separately, or is there some brand power where it's part of a parent family where it's treated completely separately, kind of like a white label?
Well, I think it's a very dangerous game to play. If you're able to get premium pricing out of the enterprise product, and if you, dramatically it's not even cannibalizing. You're basically offering the same product to.
No, not the same. The thing with local, right? Think about local businesses. When you take a Red Bull versus a Menlo Park chiropractor, their reporting is very different. And their data structures are very different. They care about recommendations and businesses and phone calls.
So those there you can make
you can
put restrictions on how scalable, how big a campaign can you grade, or your feature set better than I do, but you can create a brand that is lower brand, basically, and at a lower price point for the small businesses. And by the way, you can test it. You can test it with certain segments and see what is the appetite in that segment for that kind of usage. You can go to something like UStamp and pick a sample of some service, maybe accounting services or something, small businesses, and see what you get out of it.
And that's the other key, is to be able to work through partners. You can run directly, which means you then have to support, or you can partner with folks who have credibility in a vertical, an industry association for dentists or mortgages. Or, for example, we've met with the Better Business Bureau We've
But
met with some of
industry
the major
associations
telecoms.
don't sell software. That doesn't
They don't
work.
need to. They can provide rating tools, and that's an endorsement for us. That drives awareness. It drives
An endorsement,
credibility.
that's support though. Products need to be supported and there's cost to it.
Understood. So I mentioned also telecoms. So you have sales forces that are inside Yellow Pages companies, guys like AT&T or Orange, like phone companies, TV and newspaper and radio. Those guys are hurting. Offline media, those guys are hurting. They have existing relationships. They have sales forces. People are going online, and those companies have to either build their own or they have to partner. And history has shown in the last 3 or 4 years they've not been able to build it, and they've not been very good at partnering.
You have to test.
That's what we're doing.
So what we practice here is test who's willing to do something like that, but don't underestimate the support costs of catering to a mass scale local business.
Absolutely.
You know that. I don't have to tell you this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I have one more presenter that I have to work with. So, if you want to talk further, you should just hang on. I'll talk about how we operate in 1Mby1M, and you can decide if you want to use the services further. And I'm very sorry that somebody took your laptop. That is really a bummer.
Well, someone else gets a good Christmas. Let's put it that way.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for the time.
You're welcome. Udi, you're next. AI type.
Yeah, this is Udi calling. Thanks for listening. Thanks for bearing with us till the end. If we can move to the first slide. Next one, please, Samana. Yeah. My name is Udi, as Samana said, and I'm one of the co-founders, one of the 3 co-founders of a company called AI Type, stands for Artificial Intelligence Type. And we're located in Israel, another company from Israel, the Startup Nation. And we founded the company about 2 years ago, and currently we are 6 employees, of which 3 are co-founders. And we already launched a product with more than 250,000 free customers, and we have by now a little bit more than 5,000 paying customers. And we hope to end up 2011 in about $30,000 of revenues. We just started our selling, and hopefully we'll get there. One of the things that has the mobile users understand today is trying to type on small and tiny keyboards or in the cellular phones is a little bit awkward, a little bit.
Fat fingers on little keyboards doesn't work very well, does it?
Yeah, it does not work very well, and there are 2 perfect examples for the embarrassment that they are causing, trying to replace the word that was mistyped or misspelled. Typing on a small keyboard is slow, it's difficult, the environment is very hectic, it's very distracting, and it suffers from a lot of errors. And just 2 examples that we see on the screen is examples that happens occasionally when you mistype something and the phone decides to change the word according to its own base dictionary, and sometimes it changes the entire sentence. And this is a real problem. This is a real problem that we see every now and then. There are a bunch of sites that really spreads out the problem and makes even a joke out of it. And we actually found a solution for this. We can move on to the next slide. Okay, so we have a solution of helping mobile users keying in text on those tiny, small keyboards. The mobile market is, as predicted by Gartner, only this year is about to sell 600 million devices of smartphones. Gartner predicts that in 2014 it will reach 1.5 billion devices, mobile cell phones and tablets. And it will become very huge problem to address. Most of the solutions today autocorrect the typed text. We took it further. We took it an extra mile, and we, in addition to the autocorrections that we are doing, we are completing the word and we are suggesting the next word per context, based on the context of the sentence. Thanks. Let's see how it works. In the left example, we see that the word mistakes was totally mistyped. Every character was replaced by the adjacent character, and it came out to be a ridiculous word. And we know the context of the sentence, and we can decide. We can by the definition of the word, we can understand that really the word that the user wanted to write is mistakes, and it's not the word that actually was typed. In the center, we can see that we can predict the next word based on the beginning of the sentence. Even if user uses F's instead of P, we can understand that there was a mistyping of the word phone, and we can offer it as the next word. We also can predict names of places, name of people, even celebrities. If we type Angelina, probably we'll get the next prediction of Jolie. And the way we do it, if we can move to the next slide, we have a patent pending technology that we use. We integrate 3 different databases. We integrate a cloud database, we add it to the local database that resides on the cellular phone, on the tablet, and if we add to that the user database that we learned during the user use, we can match and integrate the best possible matches that the user wants to type. This is how we handle large vocabulary and large examples of name of places, name of people, and all the things that, the words that are not that commonly used. If we can move to the next slide. Okay, by doing it, the user benefits from a context-aware autocorrection, context-aware spelling, context-aware suggestion, and also it enriches user vocabulary. It lets the user use up-to-date terminology and up-to-date language, and prevents the user from making mistakes, typing mistakes, and also spelling mistakes. By doing it, the user, the most important thing that the user saves time. He gets the work done. He gets the text being typed much faster than he would have using the regular keyboard. By saving 75% of the keystrokes, the user can come up with the same text that he would use much faster and with much more confidence.
Okay.
Next slide, please. Yeah. Okay, if we get to the business model, I know that we first are shooting to be oriented on the leading manufacturers of cellular phones. We know that the cellular manufacturers are looking for these kinds of solutions. They understand the problem better than we do, and this is the first goal that we would plan to do in having our solution preloaded on those manufactured devices.
But this is part of the phone, or is it part of the operating system? Isn't it part of the operating system?
At our solution on the Android, it's an application. You just download an application.
No, but currently, for instance, RIM's solution for the keyboard, or Apple solution for the keyboard, autofill and auto correct, is that part of the iOS or part of the BlackBerry OS, or is it as an application provided?
In RIM and Apple, it's part of the OS. In Android, it's an application, but we can get into the operating system, and we can hook our software to communicate with the operating system. We've done it with the PC, with the Windows, and I believe we can do it for every operating system that there is.
Okay.
So basically, we are talking about a freemium-based model. We have a $5 premium version. We have a pretty good conversion rate right now, and we're looking at introducing also a tablet version, and also for other operating systems. Also, we'll have a solution in 2012.
You said you had 5,000 out of the 250,000 that are paying, right?
Yeah, but they start the 250. In most cases, they were beta users, so they could not convert back then. Only now they can convert from the free version to the premium one.
Well, I think you're operating in the top end of the freemium anyway. That's 4% conversion. That's not bad.
Actually, we have a little bit higher than this. We are converting between 5 and 7% based on the price. If we on the $5 price, we convert about 5%. Now we reduce the price for Christmas, and we get the conversion about 7%.
Okay. The way you're doing it right now, it's an app that can be loaded onto any operating system?
Only on the Android. In the next year, we will have it on Windows 8 and also on the iPhone.
Okay, so this is an Android app.
Yeah, it's an Android app right now.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
The other channel that we are looking at is the advertisement. I know that right now is the monetization of the advertisement does not really return the investment, but we are looking in the long term to have also an advertisement on the keyboard. We know from experience that mobile users uses 12 times a day the keyboard, so there are pretty good numbers of exposure that we can make use of as far as advertisement goes, but I accept your previous concern that the monetization right now it's a problematic as far as advertisement goes.
Very problematic.
Yeah. Go back one slide, please, Samana. Yeah. Yeah. As far as the customer validation, we have more than 2,000 downloads daily. Up until now, we have 5,000 paid customers. We pretty much have 10,000 more or less dollars per month right now. We just started on October ourselves. We have more than 250,000 downloads, and we are seeking to raise about $1 million that will get us into 2012 safely. A little bit about the numbers of statistics. 7 out of 100 Android users will replace the keyboard. 10% out of them are willing to pay for this replacement to have a better keyboard that can do the work nice. And the price ranges of keyboard ranges between $3 and $6. So these are good prices for an application.
What does that turn? If you look at the Android ecosystem, what is your TAM based on these numbers?
What is our what?
Total available market.
The total available market, it depends. If you are including the advertisement, it can reach, right now it's about $200 million, and it can reach up to $500 million if we would replace every keyboard and every mobile device. That means, we know for sure that manufacturers are doing the effort to have a solution on these things. So there were a few acquisitions lately of these solutions by big companies, and we see that actually that cellular manufacturers are do look for these kinds of solutions.
Yeah, I think that's probably, and I'm just giving you a very cursory view of it. I think the company is fundable.
Yeah. Right now we're looking on selling applications, but the vision is much larger than that. And if we can move on,
deal making, some deals with the operating system providers as well as I think the Android ecosystem you can service with apps, but to go to Apple and stuff, you're going to have to go work with the operating system.
Okay. So we'll get to the questions. To the next slide, please. Yeah. So I put a few questions that really concerned me. One of the questions is if we have the ability, I'm not saying that we are doing it, but we have the ability to monitor user text. So if we, with their permission, it means without violating customer privacy, what kind of a business model can you offer us to have it turn it into a multi-million dollars company?
Well, I think it's a very dangerous place. User text is pretty sensitive, and if you try to advertise against that, that is not going to be something that would be looked upon that well. And also, it's very intrusive from a user experience point of view.
You are suggesting that advertisement will be intrusive?
Extremely so, yeah.
Yeah, we understand that. That's why we are putting this
advertisement on hold. The kind of application you're talking about, or the kind of value proposition you're talking about, I don't think you can do that.
I understand. So what partners can you suggest us to hook up with as far as having our solution work for them? What kind of partners besides cellular providers or cellular manufacturers?
Well, I think actually the beauty of the applications, the App Store and the whole model of marketing applications is that you can actually market directly to consumers. And you can do it from anywhere in the world. Doesn't matter where you're sitting, you can market to global consumers sitting anywhere. And that is by using online marketing channels effectively. And that's one of the things that I really like about these mobile apps and social apps types of businesses. And in 1Mby1M, we have very strong coverage of the methodologies of those kinds of marketing and how to do that marketing and so forth. So conceivably, you can just market your Android app and I haven't looked at your forecast and so forth, but you're saying you can break even by the beginning of 2013. Android alone. Android alone, just by app marketing, you should get to a certain point. And one option is to, to talk to Google and just get acquired by Google based on that success. And in parallel, you can explore with the other vendors like the RIM and the Apple and so forth, and see if they are willing to build you into the operating system, in which case the game becomes interesting. But this is a business that you can, and I think there is some time-sensitive issues, because I haven't looked at your competitive landscape. I'd like to look at the competitive landscape to be able to make these decisions. But conceivably, if this is as powerful as you are saying it is, I'm holding my breath here a little bit because, or holding my judgment here a little bit, because it is what you're suggesting you can do is a very, very complex thing to do. And I have a sufficient knowledge of artificial intelligence to know that this is a very, very hard problem that you're proposing to solve. So, but if you can solve it.
Actually, we are not really understanding the human mind. We use a lot of tools of statistics, and we use patent pending technology and algorithm in order to make sure that we predict the right word.
Yeah.
So there's not really intelligence.
That if it works, it's the kind of technology that would be of huge interest to the operating system vendors and the cell phone providers. There's no question about it.
I understand.
But I think you have to prove with a statistically significant number of customers and validation that yes, the technology works.
I understand. So you're saying to refrain from any use of user text, even if we get permission, if we get the users to work.
I don't think the user experience, given what you do, the user experience will permit any kind of usage of user text analysis or monetization.
I understand. The other question that I had is the evaluation of the company. What kind of evaluation can our company get in order to raise this amount that we were looking for? How would you calculate the evaluation of the company?
There's a whole module. We're kind of out of time, and I need a few more minutes to give you some information about 1Mby1M. But we do have a comprehensive discussion on how to do valuation and everything in the 1Mby1M program. So I'll be happy to help you with all of that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It's an interesting, very interesting business. So, folks, we have a lot of discussion today. This was a very intense session. So, as a result, we are slightly over time. But given that we are a couple of days before Christmas, I'm going to ask you to indulge me for a few more minutes so I can. Many of you need to understand how 1Mby1M works with you. So, I'm going to take a few minutes to just explain to you how we work with you. And before we do that, here's a consistent request to all of you who find 1Mby1M compelling and useful. Please refer 10 serious entrepreneurs to 1Mby1M, because the only way the mission of our program is going to be successful is if we can get serious entrepreneurs involved and working on building serious businesses. All right, quick run through the business, the features and resources. We have a free blog series that you're free to use, and there are lots of interesting case studies that are relevant to your businesses. And today, several of you have talked about advertising / brand / market research type of businesses. And one of the case studies that's coming up in just a couple of weeks in mid-January is USAMP. I strongly recommend you take a look at USAMP, because for several of you, that's a relevant case study. And it's a very interesting case study anyway. Then we have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series, and that book series is 4 books. The first volume is for inspiration and overview. It gets you in the mode of this case study, analysis, synthesis kind of thinking of entrepreneurial learnings. The entire series is based on case studies, analysis, and synthesis. we focus very heavily on bootstrapping and positioning as part of the 1 million by 1 million methodology. So in Entrepreneur Journeys, we have a book called Bootstrapping, Weapon of Mass Reconstruction, and another called Positioning, How to Test, Validate, and Bring Your Idea to Market. And all of that are completely relevant, important lessons, nuggets for you to pick up, and you can start picking up a lot of that from the book series itself. It's all available on Amazon, Kindle, and internationally, and in India you can get it from Flipkart. All right, the blog is at stromanamitra.com, and these Thursday roundtables, we are on our 109th roundtable. Over 8,000 people have attended. I have personally coached over 500 entrepreneurs. Please feel free to use these roundtables as much as you want and refer other people to it. The premium program has extensive methodology guidance on all these topics. So topic that just came up today in the session where pricing was one, valuation was one. We have extensive methodology guidance and curriculum on all of those topics. So at the moment you have questions about any of these issues, you would be able to use the premium methodology and curriculum to address those issues as well as ask questions specifically on each of those topics. We also do business development in introducing you to customers, channel partners, so on and so forth. We have private versions of these roundtables, and we also help with financing. And we do a lot of PR and media relations, analyst relations type of work, which gives you exposure to our extensive presence online as a media property. All this comes for a $1,000 annual membership fee, and I encourage you to become a member and start using the resources. Your journey, your entrepreneurial journey is going to be a lot more efficient with 1 million by 1 million as a resource than without. Because if you're doing it without, and if you're a first-time entrepreneur, you're going to make a lot of mistakes which are perfectly avoidable. If you're trying to assess an idea, the 1 million by 1 million self-assessment tool is very useful. In fact, the moment somebody joins the premium program, we encourage them to go use the self-assessment to go through the core topics to assess their business and calibrate against the top key issues: validation, positioning, monetization, TAM, bootstrapping, financing, and so on and so forth. And in each case, we have curriculum modules attached to those, and those are accessible for premium members only. But in any point, if you feel that you're lacking knowledge of that topic, you'll be able to refer to the curriculum modules and fill up the gaps. All this is at 1M1M.stromanamitra.com. This is what the site looks like. You want to look at on the top right corner, on the black bar at the very top, you have premium program and FAQ. What to expect from the premium program page and the FAQ page are two pages that you want to read to get a sense of what we offer. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient, bootstrap startups. And even if you raise money, there's a certain amount of bootstrapped work that you're going to have to do to get yourself ready for financing, and that's something that we focus very intensely on. We don't want you to come and tell us with just a few half-baked ideas that you want to raise money, because that doesn't work. In the curriculum, we have a core set of modules and an elective set of modules. The core modules include bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. On the elective side, we have a variety of different modules that are aligned with the trends of the industry today: Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare, IT, online education, gaming. These are the trends of the industry today. Case studies. We have a particularly strong repository of case studies that have been developed over the last 5 years. Since 2006, we've been developing case studies, and we have the best collection of early-stage entrepreneurship case studies anywhere in the world. And I have personally sat down with 500-plus entrepreneurs who have shared their journeys and shared their lessons, and in a way, it's not just me teaching you the 1 million by 1 million curriculum. It is over 500 entrepreneurs teaching you the curriculum because they have taken the time to share those lessons with you. And then the synthesis are in form of video lectures, which gives you very quick nuggets of any topic that you're trying to get a sense of. As I said, we do a lot of business development. This is a page from, this is an announcement from coverage of an announcement with one of our members with a larger company, Persistent System. This is a top piece that I wrote about one of our 1 million by 1 million companies on ReadWriteWeb, and this is I have a column on ReadWriteWeb, and this is a company position that we positioned to plug a gap in Google's enterprise solution. The company is Orenscape, that's a premium company. So the other thing I want to talk to you about is be careful, be very mindful of your resources and how you spend those resources. This is a note from somebody who attends our roundtables and had pitched and got some feedback on his business, and he was sending me a message on Facebook saying, Shroman, I wish 1 million by 1 million were available 3 years ago when I raised a chunk of angel money, and now I've run through all that angel money and I have done things in the wrong sequence, and I failed. So when you have resources, make sure you don't squander those resources. That's really important. We work with a lot of incubators all over the world, so please feel free if your community has an incubator that wants to partner with 1 million by 1 million. We have a very systematic set of partnership models. We have a concrete affiliate program where we offer 10% affiliate fee. And we have roundtables all through January, 5th, 12th, 19th, and 26th January. There are roundtables, and you're very welcome to attend those. And the final piece is that I also have another book called Vision India 2020. So those of you who are interested in India or developing economies, you can take one of these $45 billion ideas published in the book and build on it. These are basically open source ideas, and you can build on it. We even have a module on Vision India 2020 in the program, in the curriculum, and we'll be happy to help you build those businesses. So this book is written as if we are sitting in 2020 and we've built these 45 businesses. It's a futuristic retrospective, and it has detailed strategic nuances. All right, very quickly, since we are way over time, I'm going to look at questions. If you have questions, go ahead and put those questions in the public chat. Sudhi is asking, so we have to read lots of case studies. We recommend that you read some case studies. Yes, relevant to topics that you're trying to digest, read case studies, because these case studies are great ways of imparting lessons, and you learn it in the context of another entrepreneur's journey. So they're very, very effective in teaching specific points. I always say 1 million by 1 million is like a gym membership. If you do the work, we can help you succeed. If you don't do the work, we cannot help you succeed. Anybody else?
Okay, Ramana, this is Mark speaking. I have just a general question.
Yeah.
What has been told about our company and our challenges? Do you think that the 1 billion for 1 million premium program will be for us? It's a typical case.
Yes, and you can call Irina. Irina, can you put your contact details in the public chat? You can call Irina and ask some, have a conversation with her if you have any doubts. But pretty much everything we've discussed today are perfectly aligned to what we do in 1 million by 1 million. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, folks? Eric, there is no one-on-one coaching. We have private versions of these roundtables in in 1 million by 1 million. There's no one-on-one coaching, but you got a one-on-one session today. There are one-on-one sessions in private members-only roundtables as well. The exact same format as our public roundtables, but it's members only and it's private. Any other questions? Yep. So while Sudhi is typing his question, Eric, I want to tell you one other thing. The curriculum modules that we have are based on these 500 plus coaching sessions that I have done and the kinds of questions that come up all the time. So some of what I was telling you today about sales models and correlation between pricing and sales strategy and so forth, there's a ton of curriculum modules available on each of those topics. Sales process, pricing correlation with sales process, and all of that stuff. So if you spend, I would say, if you spend 50 hours on the core curriculum, addressing the issues that you are grappling with, and then come and have roundtable discussions with me, you will have so much depth of understanding of the issues. So the conversations today, if you studied the pricing modules and the sales, Sales 2.0 modules in the curriculum and then came and had this discussion with me, we would have a much more sophisticated conversation instead of the basics that I gave you. So that's one of the things that's happening inside the premium program is there's a tandem effect going on between the curriculum and the coaching. So entrepreneurs are using the curriculums to address the basic questions and the questions that have already come up from the community and the ones that I felt were necessary for you to digest. And once they come and talk to me at the roundtables, at the private roundtables with that background, we are having much more sophisticated conversations. Does that answer your question, Eric, more or less?
Romana, this is Mark here once more. The question is if we are going to curriculum and feeling and have your feedback and so on, when will we be part of your suggested assistance in investing?
Oh, as soon as you're ready. As soon as you're ready. There are, there's a certain set of requirements that you have to cross. These are not my requirements. These are, from experience, I know that investors look for certain things in what is called a fundable deal. So once you cross those milestones, and we will shepherd you through those milestones, the moment you're ready, we will start introducing you to investors.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understood. So actually the introduction will be done with your assistance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Certainly. Let's see. There are a few other questions here. Priyanka, regarding customer acquisition and marketing, is that also covered in the case studies, or do you provide some personalized assistance with that on a case-to-case basis? There's a ton of customer acquisition and marketing is dealt with extensively in both the curriculum, and I constantly deal with that in the coaching sessions of what is an appropriate customer acquisition strategy for a particular business, and to the extent that your business fits our channels, or where we can connect the dots to help you access channels and so forth, we connect those dots as well. So the answer is all of the above. Sudhi, you're looking to hire large sets of folks who are interested in 1M. How will you be able to guide and mentor? How do you plan to scale up? As I see it, it is Romana brand. Sure, it is Romana brand. So, and every business scales with people and technology, and we're going to scale exactly the same way with people and technology. And I think you're asking questions which are if you had more experience of the premium program, you would know exactly how we are scaling. Every single question or topic that comes up that is important and relevant to a particular topic is converted into a curriculum module lecture. And that provides us immense scalability. You ask me a question, I'll point you to a curriculum module, and that's very, very scalable. Scaling the brand is 1 million by 1 million. It's not Shramana Mitra. Shramana Mitra is part of the brand, but 1 million by 1 million is the real brand. Anybody else? And just like you guys are entrepreneurs and you have your product roadmap, we are entrepreneurs and we have a product roadmap as well. And there's a whole lot of technology in that product roadmap. There's a whole lot of people in that product roadmap. And we will scale over time as our revenues scale and as our business scales. Okay, I think we need to get going. This is one of the longest roundtables in recent times. Priyanka is saying a small snippet of a curriculum module could do wonders. There is a small snippet of the curriculum module on the website. It's the Twitter module. If you go to the website, 1M1M.shramanamitra.com, on the right panel, there is Twitter. So you can look at the curriculum module example, which is the Twitter module. So go through that and you'll get a sense of how the modules are delivered. Okay? All right, folks, I think we need to get on with our days. There are other things we need to do. Thank you for coming. And wish you all happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and a variety of other holidays that whoever is celebrating. And I look forward to working with you starting January again. Hopefully you'll have a little break before the New Year's and get a chance to recharge the batteries. We are certainly in 1 million by 1 million. The team is definitely going to take a little bit of time to recharge the batteries. We've had a very, very intense year. We've worked very hard, and we all are in need of a little bit of recharging. Happy holidays, Happy New Year. I'll see you in January. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and have a good holiday.
Bye-bye. Take care.
You and your team. Bye-bye.